All right, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into an absolutely fascinating intersection in car culture. We're talking about what happens when the raw, unfiltered desire for dominance meets hyper-technical engineering. We are going to unpack the anatomy of the ELEVATED Luxerios upgrade program and see exactly how they claim to transform a standard machine into a total statement of pure prestige.
So, to really set the stage here, check out this line we pulled from the source material. Took my car to the clinic, let them check all the vitals. I love this, right? Because it perfectly captures a very specific mindset in high-end car culture. You aren't just taking a vehicle to a regular garage. No, you are taking a highly complex system to a quote-unquote clinic to make sure it's operating at absolute peak perfection. And honestly, we're going to treat this deep dive just like that, as a clinical checkup of a seriously engineered machine.
But that really brings up a massive question. I mean, it's one thing to tune up a standard luxury sedan, but what happens when that clinic is literally tasked with engineering a 1,500-plus horsepower monster? How do you actually bridge that gap between street-level swagger and, honestly, aerospace-level engineering specs?
Section 1. Checking the vitals.
Okay, so the core philosophy behind the Luxerios program is, well, it's completely uncompromising. The source lays it out clearly. Luxury should be felt, performance should be experienced, excellence should be expected. You know, in the automotive world, you usually face a pretty strict trade-off. You can build a stripped-down, super lightweight track car that shatters speed records, sure, but it's going to be incredibly uncomfortable to sit in. Or you can build a plush, heavy luxury vehicle that rides like a yacht but feels totally sluggish when you hit the gas. The Luxerios philosophy basically refuses this compromise altogether. They demand that both extremes exist in a single cohesive machine.
Section 2. Power Reimagined. Let's get into the beating heart of this whole operation, the ELEVATED XRS 1500 V12 Quad-Turbo Power Unit. Notice how they don't just call it an engine, it's really positioned as this revolutionary piece of hardware. It's the ultimate foundation that theoretically allows this vehicle to deliver mind-bending performance without sacrificing any of that refinement we were just talking about.
And the crucial starting point here is the raw output, over 1,500 horsepower. Just let that number sink in for a second. In the automotive hierarchy, just crossing the 1,000 horsepower mark is a monumental feat. Hitting 1,500, that rips a machine completely out of supercar territory and plants it firmly into hypercar status. It's just an overwhelming amount of raw power to try and engineer into a drivable platform.
But wait, it gets better. That massive output is immediately backed up by over 1,800 Newton-meters of torque. Horsepower dictates how fast you can ultimately go, right? But torque? Torque is that twisting force. It's that physical violence you literally feel in your chest when you slam the pedal down. With over 1,800 Newton-meters of torque, the source material specifically notes that every single acceleration becomes an unforgettable event. It is designed to be a completely visceral experience.
Now, obviously, you don't just generate that kind of nuclear power without ripping an ordinary car apart. To sustain this heartbeat, the source material lists a crazy array of upgrades. We're talking aerospace-grade titanium components and forged internals just to handle the immense internal pressure. They're using carbon fiber architecture to keep the weight in check. But perhaps the most critical part of all this is the advanced thermal management and hyper-performance cooling. Think about it. When you have 4 turbos forcing air into a massive V12, you are creating an absolute inferno of heat. It requires a highly clinical approach to cooling just to keep the vehicle functioning flawlessly without melting down. Plus, they throw in a titanium exhaust system and ultra-fast transmission integration just to complete the whole shebang.
Which brings us to Section 3, Luxury Beyond Expectation.
So there's a really key contrast here that separates this specific program from your everyday tuning shop. Many ordinary upgrade packages out there simply bolt on a larger turbo, tweak the computer for a bit more power, and call it a day. But Luxerios? They are aiming to create an undeniable presence. According to their specs, it's not merely about straight-line speed. It's about transforming the entire vehicle into a rolling statement of ambition and achievement.
To pull off that kind of presence, literally every surface and detail is curated for maximum exclusivity. You've got carbon fiber exterior enhancements giving it this incredibly aggressive stance, paired right up with bespoke interior finishing. I particularly love the premium acoustic engineering they mention. They deliberately engineer the sound inside the cabin so that you can experience the wild roar of that titanium exhaust, but without losing any of that executive comfort. Throw in ambient luxury illumination,
Handcrafted performance trim, exclusive branding, custom digital interfaces, and executive comfort tech, it's this intricate, delicate balance meant to command total respect before the engine even turns over.
Section 4. The elevated difference.
So, what is actually required to enter this elite program? It's laid out perfectly in these 3 steps straight from the brand zone ethos. Step 1. You have to refuse the ordinary. You have to look at standard luxury and just decide it's simply not enough for you. Step 2. Demand the extraordinary. You have to acquire that totally uncompromising blend of hypercar horsepower and executive comfort we've been talking about. And step 3 is the payoff, entering the future of luxury performance. The resulting machine that rolls out of this clinic is meant to look, sound, and perform unlike absolutely anything else on the road.
And this brings us to a remarkably audacious claim from the source text. Built beyond AMG, beyond Brabus, built elevated. Wow. I mean, in the high-end automotive tuning world, AMG and Brabus are absolute legends, right? They are the established heavyweights of luxury muscle. So, by explicitly naming them, Luxerios is making a highly confident, borderline aggressive statement. They are cementing their ambition to completely outshine the established legacy competition.
All right, so we've checked the vitals, we've seen the 1,500 horsepower, the titanium architecture, the completely bespoke cabin, and the sheer audacity to challenge the biggest names in the industry. So the question remains, for those who refuse the ordinary, are you ready for the future of luxury? It's an ultra-elite tier of automotive culture, and honestly, the engineering contradiction they are attempting to solve here is just undeniably fascinating.